on today, guys? Welcome back. I'm sure by the title of the video you already know what's happening in this video, but we are going to do a full truck walk around of every truck that I own, even one that I just purchased that is not here. That'll be in the last part of the video, so stay tuned because we just keep adding to the collection. But anyway, I know there's a lot. I know it gets confusing, so today we're gonna walk around and give you guys the full stable warehouse garage tour, whatever you want to call it. Every single truck will be in this video. We're gonna go over some of the details of each, some of the story behind it, and give you guys just again the full rundown. So if there is any specific questions you have per vehicle, my goal is by the time this video is up, if you go into the playlist section of the videos here, each vehicle has its own playlist and will probably be more detailed start to finish of every step of the way, the install videos, all of that. So make sure if you guys want to check out one more specifically, go in there, find the playlist for that specific truck, and it'll give you the full rundown. So anyway, that's what we're doing. Let's dive in. And we're just gonna go through each truck here. So let's start with the newest truck, I guess. This is our 2018 3500, first brand new truck that I have ever bought. We bought this, well, it's 2021, so about 2-ish years ago, and it has been awesome. So this truck was special ordered. Obviously, you guys know if you've been around for a while, for those who haven't, everything we own is Cummins powered here. So 6.7 liter Cummins has a fully built 68 RFE transmission from Muldoon's. We ordered the truck with 410 gears, sitting on some 22-inch forces. Just been a beast of a truck. We special ordered it with factory rear airbags in it. But overall, this truck has been awesome. Tows the race trailer around really nicely. And take a look at the inside. It is a Laramie. By the way, everything is dirty in here, but it is a full black leather Laramie truck. Engine setup wise on this truck, if you guys have been around, you know that we just changed a bunch of stuff up from the compounds that were on it to a single second gen swap from FLEECE. FLEECE second gen exhaust brake on this baby, which is awesome. But overall, this truck has been truly great to haul the race trailer around, all of that stuff. So that is truck number one. Truck number two over here are 2015 four-door shortbed. The story on this truck is pretty interesting. You know, the 2018 dually we special ordered for the intent and purpose of using to haul our big race trailer around. The current truck that we had was a little tight on space inside, wasn't a dually, so that truck was bought for that. Now this 2015 four-door shortbed was purchased, honestly, somebody hit me up on Facebook and they wanted to get out of the truck. They had a whole bunch of parts with it. This is probably one of, or if not the most interesting stories of ever buying a truck. Some guy hit me up on Facebook, said he needed to get rid of it, had a ton of parts for it. What we paid for it is pretty unbelievable. That's really a lot of the reason why some of these trucks get purchased, is because some of the deals that pop up are just too good to pass up. But this truck is fairly bone stock as of right now. We bought this truck. I really convinced my wife that she needed another truck, so we were going to give this to my wife. I have been stealing it ever since then, but has a lot of Banks parts on here. But other than that, we have been slowly transforming this 2015 into Laramie trim. Didn't have painted bumpers. We put the painted parts on it. Has a set of 5th gen 20-inch wheels on it with some 2-inch spacers. But again, this truck we bought, and I guess the crazy part about it is, it's kind of funny. I have to remember all of these details. A lot of you guys probably remember them more than I, but this truck, when we got it, 2015, only had 70 miles on it. It sat in some guy's garage and he never drove it. at all. Like we just put the first 1,000 miles on it. Oh, there were the miles right there, 1177. But again, it was a tradesman. I really want to swap out the interior. See, look, Allie does drive it. You know, we got the baby seat in the back. But again, too good of a deal to pass up with such low miles. Truly a pretty crazy story. And again, that was sent to me and asked if I wanted to buy it. So on to our 2000, and it's a 07 and a half. So call it a 2008 or call it a 2007 and a half. 6.7 Cummins. Again, this was actually the second truck that I had ever purchased way back. This truck has a little over 200,000 miles on it. It is a 6-speed truck. Used this truck for work for quite a while. That's the reason for all of the miles. Nothing crazy on the inside. We did just get done doing quite a bit of engine work to this truck. This truck makes about, has not been on the dyno yet or really confirmed, but should be in the mid 700, possibly 800. Engine setup on this is EVILFAB 472 second gen swap kit. And again, everything's dirty. I apologize that everything is dirty. The weather has been kind of crappy, so have not gotten a chance to clean everything up. But a whole bunch of Hamilton cam stuff in here. Hamilton cam cylinder head on this thing. It is a stock bottom end, but should do really well. Set of SNS 80% over injectors, FLEECE 10 mil CP3 on this thing. So is a full 6.7, again, stock bottom end. But I love this baby. I love all my trucks. I think the biggest Banks intercooler on this. A lot of FLEECE parts and a lot of Banks parts on all of my trucks. I get asked which one's my favorite, which is just truly impossible to even answer. So we got the race truck hauler. This truck is really more of a fun play toy that I cannot wait to make a whole bunch of power with. This truck right here is kind of like a backup. Like I said, used to be a work truck, second truck I ever bought. Really fun to drive with the 6-speed, especially with all of the new power on it, but is a Laramie as well. 4-door long bed. Here is my real baby. This is my real baby. Everyone pretty much knows this truck. This truck makes a bunch of power currently, makes about 1,000 horsepower to the wheels with the current engine setup. This was the first truck that I ever bought way back when, after I graduated school. It's a 2005, and I bought this truck with 30 or 40,000 miles on it way back when, in 2007 or 8, but this was my first truck I ever bought. Really awesome truck. This is not really a true race truck. This is about as, I guess, race truck as you can on the street. Like this is a street toy, but it does do quite a bit of racing. Fully built Freedom Racing engine, stage 2 in here. Has nitrous. Most of the power that it's been made was on a 476 single turbo. Did spray some nitrous. It made 1350, I believe, on nitrous. But again, whole bunch of Freedom Racing engines, whole bunch of FLEECE performance. 2 stock pumps, SNS, 100% over injectors. Nothing super crazy on this truck. This truck will be doing we'll be getting a complete makeover here very soon with a new engine capable of much more horsepower. Will be sleeved, will be deck plated. Again, fully built Muldoons 48 with paddle shifters, with PCS control. Here's the paddle shifters right here. Got the steering wheel, gauges, all of that. It's got 83,000 miles on it now. Got the original seats in here. We'll be putting a roll cage and taking this thing kind of to the next performance level. Still keeping it street. We'll never take it off the street. Will not be a dedicated race truck, but will be capable of putting down some big numbers and going really fast. So that is that truck. Over here we've got our 2002 second gen regular cab long bed. This truck has a NV 5600 in it. It's got the 5.9 Cummins in it. This truck used to be white. Me and my buddy Mark, it's got brand new door seals. Ooh, really got to shut them. This truck used to be white. We painted it a custom black color. It's sitting pretty low. We just got done doing a whole bunch of work to this one. Well, we do a whole bunch of work. We do a whole bunch of work to every single truck that we have here. Nothing ever gets left alone. So this truck, you know, I've got some big plans for it. I don't want to give away too much information, but who knows, we might not be sticking with the VP pump on this truck, but standard output VP pump, whole bunch of stuff from Banks, Mishimoto. We've got EVILFAB compounds on this. It's a Fleece Cheetah HE351 over a 475 compound kit. We have not had a chance to get this thing on the dyno and get some power numbers either. Should be, I'm not sure, the standard output VPs don't really do a whole lot, but you know, hopefully close to 600 would be awesome on that pump setup until we decide, you know, that it's not enough and we keep going. We're moving through these kind of fast. Again, if you guys want anything more specific, go to the playlist for each truck. Now those are what I would consider the black beauties right there. Those are all of the black trucks minus the Peterbilt in the back. So let's go take a look at that. But those are all of the black trucks. Obviously you can tell what my favorite color is. But here is our Peterbilt 379. Bought this because it was a good deal. I wanted to get into building some of the bigger trucks and found this one. It was already black. It fit a lot of the bills, minus one thing that everyone loves to give me a hard time about, but it was because the price was right. It is an automatic, but good news is our friends over at Semi-Casual Show YouTube, they got us hooked up with an 18-speed, so we will be swapping an 18-speed. So some future plans on this, we're going to be swapping to that 18-speed, using this to haul the race trailer around a little bit. We're going to be making a whole bunch of power because it has got a Cat 6NZ C15 under the hood, and yeah, we've got plenty of performance parts coming for it, so we're going to make some power. I would love to stretch it as well. If you guys remember, go back in the playlist. This truck looked completely different. We swapped the top of the cab, we put the coffin sleeper on it, had a big sleeper on it, changed the tanks, changed the step boxes, stacks, whole 9 yards. We have done a lot of reconfiguring work on that truck to get it the way it looks right now. But definitely one of my favorite trucks that we own is the big trucks. Looks super mean. Still needs an interior put back in it. We're going to work on that. But future plans for the Pete are to get it finished up, get it reliable, start using it, and then just keep tinkering with it. I think some of the stuff that you guys always want to know is what's next, what's the direction for the trucks. So I don't think I really went over that a ton. So as far as the future of where the truck is at and where it's going, you know, the dually, we just changed a bunch. We need to kind of get some miles on it and get that thing back to tow duty. I don't really like to go super crazy on something that is going to be hauling the race trailer and just needs to be reliable at the highest level. So I kind of keep that mindset with the dually. I want it to be reliable, have a bunch of power, and not have to work on it a ton. So with the new turbo setup, it should do great towing, but that's tow duty right there. So Allie's truck, we have got some big plans for it. With it being pretty much completely stock, I want to really dive into some before and afters with dyno numbers, changing things, and really going step by step with that. I do want to make quite a bit of power with the truck. The truck does have a 68, it's completely bone stock 68, so we'll have to take care of that, but I would like to build this into kind of what the 05 is in a newer, more comfortable newer truck. I do have a very strong urge to 5th gen front clip swap this truck because we don't have a 5th gen in the stable. I really don't feel like the 5th gens are different enough for me to ever really get one. I'm not really running out to go rush and get one. I love the body styles, they look awesome. But as far as changes on the engine or transmission side, not really enough for me to really go justify and do it. So maybe a 5th gen swap on this. The 08 right now, I'm happy with where it is at. Again, I would like to get some proven numbers. We're missing power numbers and you know, a dyno to kind of complete that picture. So we're gonna make all that happen and get some numbers and just kind of constantly improve things a little bit here and there with the 08, but for right now, it still can tow a trailer real well at the power level that it's at. You know, maybe make some fine tunes, some tweaks, maybe change a couple things up on there, but this truck is good where it's at. The 05 we've kind of been over. This truck is going to get a big transformation, roll cage, go to the next level of power. The 2nd gen over here, again, kind of the same thing. These trucks have all kind of went through a process to get where they're at, and we're kind of nearing the kind of getting some miles on them, driving, and some power numbers. The 2nd gen, I love this truck. I really love this truck. What would make this truck even cooler is if we, you know, put a 6.7 common rail in it. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't really see myself P-pump swapping it. I'll never say never, but it's gonna need to make some more power. Obviously, we love to make power around here. That is the goal of everything. Everything's got to make power, or do something. Not everything needs to make power, but kind of everything does. This thing definitely needs to make some power. Definitely needs to turn some heads. Definitely needs a big trailer to go behind it, and just have fun, tinker with, and really just another project. If you guys know anything about me, is that I am a sucker for a project. I love the build process of all of this. You know, I love using them, I love racing them, but the build and all the details that go in it is something that I really enjoy. So anyway, those are the black vehicles right there. Let's move on. You know, everybody's favorite vehicle right here. We got the smart car. Now this smart car was purchased, number one, because it's smaller, lighter, it's road legal. This gets stuffed in the front of the race trailer. This was bought for a pusher pit vehicle for the trucks that won't start until they get up to the lines, or if you don't want to drive them, or you know, just a vehicle to have in the race trailer when we go. I did have a Polaris Ranger, which was actually Mark's, so that went back to Mark, but we got this because it is road legal. It actually is a really nice runaround vehicle. It's actually more spacious than you would think, but anyway, I won't spend too much time on a smart car, but it's actually a pretty fun vehicle to bounce around in. Moving on, those are all of our running and driving vehicles as of this moment. We're starting to get into the ones that do not run and drive currently, are currently in project land, but right here is our 92 first gen club cab long bed, 2-wheel drive. We found this truck on Craigslist for a extremely good deal for what it is. The paint on this thing is in super good condition. Was a one owner truck. Some guy towed his camper around in their summertime. It's got 100,000 original miles on it. You know, all the Cummins owners just barely, not even broken in yet. So picked this truck up. I wanted to 4-wheel drive swap it because finding a truck in this condition in 4-wheel drive, the prices tend to go super high. So 2-wheel drive, we are going to convert it. I have everything to convert it. Where this truck got left off last is we took the 2-wheel drive 518 transmission to our man Muldoon's in Newcastle, Delaware, and we converted that to a 4-wheel drive transmission, so we can go ahead and soon this year start to complete the 4-wheel drive swap. We've got a whole bunch of parts from the Hungry Diesel for this first gen, and we are going to be, again, a lot of before and after testing. But again, you can kind of see it's all original. It's all there. Truck does run and drive once we get the transmission put back in it. But that is why it is currently sitting over here right now, looking a little sad. Moving on, we have got this 2003 red truck, which again, we got for a pretty good deal. This truck needs just about everything. If you guys go back and watch the one video on this thing does needs a lot of love, but that's okay. But as far as running and driving, it currently needs transmission work, it needs engine work, it needs everything work. So this should be a interesting project. Again, getting back to future goals and plans, I want to four-wheel drive swap it. We've got some plans on lifting this thing up, doing some cool things with the suspension. Not really a go fast project. This is more of like a, I wouldn't even put it in the show truck category, but just a truck that's fun, lifted, can go to some of the show style meets and stuff like that. So should be a cool project. I would love to paint this truck. This truck, I don't know. I really loved the original paint, but I don't think you guys can disagree that we're getting close to a all black first through fifth gen lineup, and if one truck is going to get painted, this truck is a perfect candidate to get painted. So that's a little bit of where that truck's going. This truck, I have no idea exactly where it's going to head. I'm not really sure. Everything needs to be touched, fixed. I'm not really, honestly, super attached to this truck like I am all the rest of them. So it should be interesting what we come up for this truck. But for it to run and drive and do anything, we need to go through the transmission. We need to go through the engine. Do we need to touch every nut and bolt on this truck to make sure it's good to run and drive? But that's okay. We're capable of that. I bought the truck knowing that. So here is a really, really cool story. So Kyle, my man from Rustic Nail, dropped this body off to me, this crew swept line body. It is a 1970 body, and it is actually sitting on a truck that we got and parted out. That was a 2003 or 4 chassis. It was a basically the same chassis as what this is on, 4-door long bed, 2003 to 2005 chassis. Has a 5.9, the full drivetrain and engine and everything is in there. We basically cut the body off of that other truck. This is going to be interesting with one hand. There you go. You can kind of see in there the engine, drivetrain, transfer case, everything minus a body off of a 3rd gen is underneath there. So we've got a 5.9 common rail Ford. It's actually got a 6-speed G56 transmission inside there. So everything is kind of just placed on there. Nothing is final set. The body is not mounted on there. It does need some floor work, some firewall work. But my plan with this was to, mount this and just have a really cool older truck on a newer chassis, 4-wheel drive. But a super, super cool, fun project that by the time we scrapped everything off the other truck, we're into this pretty much next to nothing. So that is the 1970s swept line. I'm not sure if you would actually ever call this a full restoration. This would be considered, I don't even know if it really fits in the rat rod category, but the truck will not be perfect. We're not restoring it. I don't think it's going to get paint work. We might do some cool things with the steel on it. But again, really just a kind of a cool, older, beat up kind of looking truck with a really solid power plant with some power underneath the hood, but just a cool older retrofit truck. Walking into the shop here, I don't know if you'd call this a vehicle, but it's very important. We got Frank, the fork truck over here. We got a Mitsubishi Portman forklift. This thing is a beast. That's a vehicle, so there you go. Right here, this truck has been sitting in the corner here for a little bit. We are waiting on a cylinder head from the guys over at Freedom Racing Engines, and then this truck can go back together really quickly. The truck blew a head gasket because it makes a bunch of power. It's really fun. It's a two-wheel drive, 93 first gen, and again, excuse all the mess and all of the engine parts that are in the back here, but we bought this truck quite a while ago. It has been a really, really fun project. We've done a lot of work to the engine, the interior. It's got, you know, Corbo bucket seats, center console. It's again, a Muldoon's 48 built transmission. We love our Muldoon's 48 transmissions. Manually shifted. Go pop the hood here. Again, the engine is apart. The first gens match. I love that about the first gens. That's kind of why we got that color scheme. That's kind of the reason why I didn't really want to paint it, because they match, and I thought that that was really, really cool. We have not had a chance to get a picture of them together yet, but this truck will stay the patina look. It's a really, really cool patina look. Let me pop the hood here on this one. There we go. It's actually already popped. So this truck, this is actually a pretty cool part about this truck. Picked this up from, again, it was an original owner who had it forever. It was in the family for a long, long time. The odometer here is 323,000, which is quite a bit, but it's quite a bit more when the odometer hasn't worked in a very, very long time. It's never worked since I bought it. So I would say that there's probably even more miles on it than that, but again, the cylinder head is off of it. We have P-pump swapped it. It's got a Ferrell 12 mil pump. It's got a whole bunch of fuel on it. Custom air dog pump. Air dogs pretty much on all of our builds. We've got a custom set of compounds that me and my good buddy Mark built, and our buddy Russell welded up for us. It's a 468 5-blade stainless diesel turbo and a 480 5-blade stainless diesel turbo. So it's got compounds, factory bottom end on this baby, still running strong. I'm waiting for it to give up one of these days, but as of now, it's still hanging on for dear life. So we 48 swapped it because the factory automatic transmission is definitely not going to hold up to any kind of power. This truck has been on the dyno, an unloaded dyno once, and did 700, which I think is pretty low. We have some big injectors in this thing and the P-pump. This truck should be, I think, somewhere in the 750 to 800 horsepower range. We swapped in the Dana 80 disc brake rear end that's in it now. So we have done quite a bit of work to this truck. Everything has been touched and rebuilt on this baby. Definitely a real fun two-wheel drive street machine, but again, bought it in for the intention of kind of keeping it mechanical. I'm not a expert by any means on the older mechanical stuff, so bought this truck, gonna keep it mechanical, not gonna do anything crazy with that, and just kind of keep rocking on with the old tractor stuff on this truck, but a real fun truck to drive. Over here, we have been working on this baby a lot for this upcoming race season. So I think that that's pretty much the end of street vehicles. We have 2 race trucks currently. The 05, I guess you could half a race truck. So we got 2.5 race trucks, but this is our 4-wheel drive, fully purpose-built race truck. We'll be getting a completely custom Freedom Racing Engines engine for this as well. There's a reoccurring theme in all of the parts that we use. We use a lot of the same parts in all of the builds. I've had good luck with a lot of great companies. It's been awesome working with a lot of great companies. FLEECE, Freedom, AirDog, Banks. There's tons and tons of companies that we've worked with, and I like to use them everywhere we possibly can because they are, in my opinion, the best. So anyway, we have this 4-wheel drive drag truck that we have done a ton of work to. We have changed just about everything on this beast. 25/6 cert cage. We will be using a 48 transmission in this as well. Hopefully she hangs on for dear life because we are going to be making a ton of power. But yeah, full fiberglass body minus the cab, full 4-link. We're still working on getting all of the body panels mounted and getting it done for this season. This is a mock-up engine that we're using. But yeah, here is the race truck we will be utilizing this year. Sorry, the heat was kicking. Once the heat kicks on there, you can't really hear me very well, but that is a full 2nd gen body on that truck. And in the other home garage, we have our other race truck, which has been kind of put on the back burner since we started to focus a little bit on the 4-wheel drive truck. Well, there's a ton of stuff around it, in it, on it, under it, but there is a race truck on a frame table here. This is a completely custom, you know, Michael, the guy who works with us, he actually built this, and this is a completely custom one-off tube frame truck. 2nd gen body, like I mentioned, big 2-wheel drive, turbo 400 billet engine. The billet engine's hiding over there, so billet engine, turbo 400, just low, mean, as fast as possibly can, diesel powered race truck. So we will be getting to this, getting back to this probably after the other race truck is done, maybe towards the end of the year. Really cool project that I don't plan on getting rid of, want to complete it. It is not currently a roller right now. It's still on the frame table, obviously. Needs some front suspension put on it to be a roller, but a lot of big pieces are here for this truck. We just kind of decided to do the 4-wheel drive truck first. So like I said, we definitely have quite a few projects and no shortage of work or content to be done or had. But I love it. I'm super excited for each truck. They all kind of have a different little niche in my mind. But a lot of common misconceptions on a couple different things is the race trucks. A lot of people, which one is which? Are there two? So there is 2 race trucks. The Pro Mod, the 2-wheel drive. So really it's a 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. They are both full-blown, mostly tube frame at this point. The other one did have some frame left on it. We cut that off. So, but the biggest difference is the 4-wheel drive one we're working on now and the 2-wheel drive one in the background. So yes, we have 2 race trucks. And they're both not going anywhere at this point. So the other thing that a lot of people get confused is some previous builds. If you guys go back in the playlist, you'll know that I had a sled pulling truck, and it looks a lot like our 2008. 2 totally different trucks. They are not the same. We're never the same. The pulling truck that we sold was a totally different truck that got painted. People will get confused between the 05 and the 08 because they do both look very similar. But again, first truck I ever bought, second truck I ever bought. This is a 05, but we front clip swapped it, so it does look like a 06 to 09, but it is a 2005 truck. It's a lot to go through because there's so many. And if you guys really want to know, that, I mean, if we're really doing full vehicle, you can see my my wife's Jeep Grand Cherokee up there. If you wanna count that, but I don't really count that in truck land. So the full truck count up until recently was 12. So you got the race trucks included in that, all the pickup trucks and the Peterbilt, none of the smart car or anything like that. We recently bumped that number up to 13, and I'll put some pictures up on the screen. Really cool story. Ever since I started hanging out with Kyle from Rustic Nail with the swept line, the older trucks, he has been slowly converting me into the hot rod scene and some of that stuff. And I love some of the older trucks that he's done. So he's kind of turned me into a little bit of the older truck scene. This one, the 70 swept line, we plan on lifting some big wheels and tires on that thing and putting that thing up in the air. Now, he's got a lot of lowered airbagged trucks, and I have been looking for a not looking, but just I follow everything on all of the Facebook forums, stuff like that. So we found out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, we found a regular cab, and I wanted the 3 headlight style. It's a 62, and it was on Craigslist for what it is, really cheap, and they are getting extremely hard to find with that really cool 3 headlight style. The really, I don't know what years, 61 to 64 or something like that, is that headlight style that I really wanted. I wanted to do a slammed project, get that thing on the ground, airbag it, slam it. So we went ahead and bought that truck off Craigslist for a steal of what it is. It's got some really cool blue paint on it that I think will be really cool if we buff it, wax it, bring that back to life, and do like a pro touring kind of look on that truck. So that truck we are going to go get. You'll see the plans for that in the future, but huge thank you to everyone who kind of reached out to me on Instagram that helped with that. We got a couple good buddies and met some cool people that helped us pick that thing up, which we'll be meeting once we go out there and pick that up. So yeah, that is and of course we're gonna throw a 6.7 common rail in it and slam it. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, that is the full tour of all of the trucks that I currently own at this point in time. I keep saying that I don't see another one coming for a very long time, but sometimes people show me some cheap stuff and I just can't help it. But anyway, that is pretty much it. Like I said, if you want to hop down in the playlist, everyone will have a playlist of all of the work that we have done to every single truck here. It's very hard to do complete every little detail build list. Like I could do one on each truck and it would be 30 to 40 minutes because we do so much to all of them. But anyway, that's it. We have 13 trucks at this point. So just madness. I know it's madness. I know it's crazy, but you know, I'm just a crazy kind of guy, I guess you could say. But anyway, that is pretty much going to wrap up this video, guys. Hopefully that cleared up some stuff. You guys saw all of the trucks. If I had, you know, all the black ones are just a little bit higher than all the rest of them, just because of that reason. If I had to pick 2 that were, or pick 1, I'm going to say the 05 and the 15 right now in my book are just a little bit higher than the rest, just because they kind of have a similar feel to me. Like, that's the first truck I ever bought. It's a rowdy, really fun truck, and that's exactly kind of what we have planned for the 15. Just like version 2.0 of the 05. Maybe not that crazy, but you know, fast enough to scare you, but comfortable enough to drive and rock on. So anyway, make sure you guys hit the like button before you leave, subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.